Hi everyone, Jin here, LCMS Traders. Just wanted to do a quick, actually quite an impromptu video that I wasn't planning to do, but I thought this would be quite beneficial to you guys out there. Main thing I'll be focusing on is the Aussie Monetary Policy Meeting Minutes that was released at 9:30 AM this morning. Looking at the minutes, it was quite a hefty meeting minutes. The overall decision last month was to leave the cash rate unchanged at 1.5%. Okay, but paying attention to how they came up with that decision and what the possible future decisions might be. They're looking at international evidence and recent inflation data. A further decline in unemployment rates would be consistent with their inflation targets. Alright, no further improvement in labor market in the period ahead, recognizing that in these circumstances, a decrease in the cash rate would be appropriate. Okay, if you read through the whole statement, and especially in this paragraph, they decided to leave rates unchanged, but they were considering, or they're putting onto the table possible future rate cuts to help with employment data and to help with achieving their inflation targets. Okay, but you could also feel that it wasn't very affirmative. It wasn't very straightforward to say that we definitely will cut interest rates in the future. It was saying that it would be likely to be appropriate. It's like they're looking for giving it time for things to happen before deciding whether to cut interest rates or not. That was the monetary policy meeting minutes. What we actually had after that was a bit of a surprise, where RBA Governor Philip Lowe speaks at 11:10 AM. Okay, so looking at his speech, it was quite a lot of information that he went through. Philip Lowe was speaking. He went through all the data, all the inflation and employment numbers. I would advise that you pay a bit of attention, read through it. But what I would focus most of my time on would be the last part, where he actually came out and said that a lower cash rate would support employment growth, bringing forward a time where inflation is consistent with the target. Given this assessment, our meeting in 2 weeks' time will consider the case for lower interest rates. Straight again, you see that he is actually more definitive about a possible case for decreasing interest rates, for cutting interest rates. Okay, it's not so much like, we'll wait and see what's going to happen. In this statement, he says that they're considering the case for lower rates. Okay, so now to pay attention, to look at the charts, we have Aussie at 0.6867 right now. It's at a very, very strong support. Just a couple of days ago, it bounced off this support level because of the election results. We had quite a good election result. It shot straight up, hit a resistance before this recent news today brought it straight back down to this support level. Okay, on the 4th of June, Tuesday the 4th of June, where the RBA makes a rate decision, if they do decide to cut rates, if they do decide to bring rates from 1.5% to 1.25%, we will see an immediate shoot downwards. We're likely to see an immediate shoot downwards. Okay, this is to answer the question where a lot of people ask, Jin, they're putting out the statements right now about future rate decrease, future rate cuts. Is that decision going to be priced in? Are we likely to see little or no movements when that rate decision comes up on the 4th of June? Okay, my first answer is always going to be, we're going to see a reactionary move. The first move is always going to be whatever the data tells us. So if they do cut rates, we're likely to see it go lower strongly, and then we'll read the statement, and the statement could say that they have cut rates at this time They are likely to keep it at 1.25 for an extended period of time, giving time for employment data to catch up, giving time for inflation to catch up, and especially paying attention to possible developments in the trade war between China and the US, the tariffs between China and the US, especially because China is such a big trading partner with Australia. Okay, so we could see that move, a reactionary move downwards, and if that statement comes up that they're likely to hold rates at that period for an extended period of time, we could see it shoot straight back up to retest this level again. Okay, we could see a big move downwards before a bounce up to retest. If we don't see, okay, so main thing, and then also consider that this rate decision, or the coming rate decision on the 4th of June is not a given. They're not saying that they would definitely cut rates. Okay, so that still could be a surprise. It could still be held at 1.5%. If rates were held at 1.5%, we could see the Aussie dollar shoot up. Same as what it did before. We could see it shoot up to hit that resistance level at 0.69. Okay, we could see it shoot up. But with the recent talk about rates being cut, any shoot up will probably be followed with quite a strong shoot back down, because the following statements, or the accompanying statement, is likely to say that they have not cut rates at this month, looking into employment data, and the likelihood for future rate cuts is going to be a lot higher. Okay, so we could see a move upwards, a surprise move upwards before a big shoot downwards again. Okay, so in this case, in summary, what I would advise is do not expect that this rate decision is a given. Okay, that could still be a big surprise. They could still wait to see that the trade wars between China and the US has brought the Aussie dollar to a historic low, and then decide to hold off on the rate cut decision. So don't expect it to be given. Following that, when whatever the decision is, read the statement, get an idea of whether future rate cuts are going to be in place or likely, before we know whether the first move is going to be a big shoot up and then down, or a big shoot downwards and continuation downwards, or a big retest back up again. Okay, so do not take the 4th of June's decision as a given. There's still a lot to be trading. Aussie is going to be trading in a very tight range over this next 2 weeks before leading up to the rate decision. So if I were you, I would actually pay a lot more attention to other currency pairs rather than Aussie for this period of time. Alright, so trade safe. Take care. Do leave me any comments or feedback after this video. Thank you.